Good evening, friends, and welcome to another Chef Sal video. Now, my husband is not here this evening, and it's been a while since we have critiqued some of my cuisine, so I'm going to critique my own meal tonight, which might be biased, but hey, why not? We'll have some fun. So tonight I made a salmon dish. We try to do salmon at least once a week. It's been a little while since I've cooked salmon, so time to do that. I had a nice piece of Alaskan salmon in the freezer. Would have preferred fresh, but a lot of times, you do what you can. And I also have some some jasmine rice here and some zucchini. So the salmon is marinated, you can see, with a marinated with a marinade. I looked up a recipe because I had white miso paste and I really wanted to use that. So this calls for a white miso, or apparently there's red miso as well. You could do either. Gluten-free, I used the gluten-free tamari soy sauce. Sake, of all things. Has a little Asian flair to it. So I actually had this bottle of sake. We have like this much left in the bottle, and perfect, voila, we can use it in a recipe. Also called for sugar and oil. I called for, I think, vegetable oil, but I just used olive oil. So you mix up the marinade, whisk it up, and then ideally you would do an overnight marinade, but just given time and I needed something to eat tonight, that wasn't happening. So I marinated the piece of fish. It was a pretty large piece, and baked it in the oven for about 20-25 minutes. Might have cooked it a little too long. I think if I was took a break in between to do a yoga video. So anyway, you can kind of test the waters on how cooked or medium or overcooked you like your salmon. So with that, let's give it a whirl. So I whipped this up quickly, so I wouldn't say presentation we get that high of a score, but for just dinner on your own, who cares about presentation, right? It's very good. It's very light. The dressing is not overpowering. Which I appreciate that. Sometimes you make a marinade and it totally kind of changes the profile of the fish. Now, if you don't like the flavor of salmon, that might be why you want to do that. Pretty nice. I think that doing the overnight marinade would give it a little bit more oomph to the flavor, but it's pretty good. Zucchini. Actually, the zucchini, I think, picked up the flavor a little more. Very nice. Reminds me of a kind of an Asian-inspired dish. So, if we're going to do this on like a 5-point rating scale, I would give it like a 2.75, maybe a 3, because I think that there is some room for improvement. Like I said, I would do the overnight marinade. I think that will just help the fish soak in those flavors a bit more. I might actually double the marinade, the amount, because I had a pretty large piece of fish, kind of filled the whole sheet pan. So I think given the size of that piece of fish, I think doubling that recipe, the dressing marinade would actually enhance the flavor. But definitely love the addition of the zucchini. That was great, and the jasmine rice is the perfect side rice to use, I think, in this dish. So yeah, I'm not gonna overrate myself because I know it has some room for improvement. But hey, if we're whipping up a quick dinner, 2.75, we'll give it that. So Jorge, hubby, if you're watching this, you can see I'm being fair in my rating and not overly biased. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will try to cook up some new recipes very soon for you. Have a good night.